The following is a passage from The Insurrectionist, read by the author, Andy Nowicki. I will admit that at this point, I began doubling my doses of the zycopatine as things were accelerating at a seemingly exponential rate, and I wished accordingly to keep up. My influential Nashville friend, that pale vampiric dandy, had introduced me to the local chapter of the FO, or Final Order. I intended to do a bit of research on this organization and found very little mentioned anywhere online, which suggested to me that they possessed a privileged post indeed. Unlike most other fraternal orders about which information could still be gleaned, this group titled itself Final, suggesting a culmination of everything that came before, just as my friend in his cryptic way had indicated. I was duly initiated into the FO one night, a short time later. Much as I would prefer not to speak of the details of my initiation ritual, I feel that I must, in the interest of candor, reveal what took place. Upsetting as it was, it proved to be a mere foretaste of what was to follow. I had been warned by my friend that I must, quote, make my heart steel, because the ceremony I was about to undergo, quote, would get a bit rough. Nevertheless, it was for a higher cause, for the exalted purpose of fully uniting my own blood with the pure blood of the Brotherhood, taking on the genetic inheritance that was mine, as well as becoming one in spirit with all the truly legitimate lines of the lineage. The proceedings took place in an abandoned church basement a few miles outside of town. I was blindfolded, then finally let out into the dank, cramped, musty room, where, standing at first in complete darkness, I was asked a series of pointed questions from men who stood at my back concerning my loyalty to the order. Did I swear never once to reveal the order's secrets? I swore never to do so. If I ever were to reveal the order's secrets, did I understand that my throat would be slashed from ear to ear, my blood scattered to the four winds, my guts fed to wild beasts, my heart flung into the vast, infinite sea? I understood. Then my blindfold was removed, and I was spun around to face my interrogators. There were 5 men standing in front, and several more gathered behind. All of them were hooded and cowled, and backlit in such a manner that no faces were visible. Of the 5 in front, the one in the middle asked, "Who vouches for this man?" "I do," declared someone just behind him. It was the voice of my vampiric friend. "Present the initiate with the sacrifice," the hooded figure in the middle demanded. At this, my friend rose and strode over to me, carrying what looked like a small piece of luggage. I heard faint sounds of some creature crying within the container, and something in me tensed up, but I managed to keep my composure as I stood before these goons in their Halloween costumes. The head goon, who spoke with the accents of a cultivated southern planter, now pronounced, "Initiate, to become one of our order, means embracing the sort of task shunned by lesser men, onerous as this task is. We aim to bring harmony and balance to our planet. We endeavor to restore demographic sanity to a human gene pool gone awry. To accomplish our ends, we are not afraid to use every means at our disposal. Indeed, we roam about the world like wolves among sheep. We wield deception as a tool of control, and we do not shrink from decisive and ruthless action when the plan deems such campaigns necessary. Our work is not for the squeamish. We will make whatever sacrifices are necessary to ensure the supremacy of our lineage." My friend then handed me something small and furry. I could barely make out in sinister backlight that it was alive, and further that it was a little kitten, mewling fervently as it squirmed to escape my grasp. "Kill the beast," commanded the head hood. Tears stung my eyes, but I heard Brittany's voice at that moment strengthening my resolve. "Do it quickly, Alexander." I grabbed the poor creature's neck and squeezed, and with a pitiful gurgle it went limp. Though tears now ran silently down my face, I managed not to sob as I handed the tiny corpse back to my friend. The rest was a mere formality. I was officially sworn in, and an after-party took place at a nearby house, in which I was greeted warmly by my new colleagues, now uncowled. They all grinned happily and shook my newly blood-stained hands, before my friend approached in the spirit of jubilation. "Welcome to the last order, brother," he said, handing me a beer. "Hey, I told you it would get a little intense, didn't I? So proud you were able to do what must be done." He clapped my shoulder and laughed, like a boozy fraternity brat. At that moment, I honestly hated him more than I had ever hated anyone before in my life. But I managed to smile broadly as we clinked bottles, him little knowing that the source of my forced glee was the thought of doing unto him exactly what I had just been made to do to that helpless animal.